Am I the butthole for getting my neighbor's car towed for blocking me in my garage, and now they want me to pay for their tow fee and ticket for calling to get them towed? I recently bought a house that was vacant for a while and people were using it as parking. I moved and now it's clear someone lives there, so people stopped parking there. Sometime last week I had to leave but couldn't because when I opened my garage door there was a car there blocking it in. I don't know whose car it is and I'm not going to waste my effing time walking around knocking on doors to figure out whose it is. Also, you could have parked in the grass or off to the side or something, I don't know. Now I found out it's someone 3 doors down because they knocked on my door demanding I pay them back because I'm the one who called to get it towed. I told they should have had their visitors park at their house and they said no, because we've always parked here. Okay, well, not anymore, and I'm not paying for your crap. I kind of feel bad how much they had to pay, but I shouldn't have to take time out of my day to go figure out whose car it is because they're being dicks. Also, why park in front of the garage? Literally anywhere else would have just been annoying, but I could have gone on with my day. NTA. When I was in high school, I used to park in the driveway of an empty house across where my high school was. One day I came out to find my car missing. It was towed. I guess someone bought the house and didn't appreciate someone parking in their driveway. And rightfully so. I sucked it up. Saved my paychecks to pay my parents back for the tow fees, and apologized to the new house owners. The entitlement of some people is beyond me. Update, guys. So many awards and gold? Like. Wow. Thank you to everyone. I never knew this one moment of my teenage years would get this much attention so many years later. I'm trying to thank and respond to everyone. A little slow due to mom duties, but I am so grateful. My 5-year hiatus has been ended in the most interesting of ways. Confession, I have been gone a while, so I must admit I need to learn about all these awards and how everything works again. Bear with me. Holy crap, this is your first time commenting in 5 years. Hold on, let me check. Edit, oh yeah. Holy crap, and it's the top comment. Now everyone's going to check. Laughing out loud. May. I'll take their word for it. I feel like you and I kindred souls, but I too lazy check your profile. That's the spirit. I'm just going to upvote the thread. How'd that work out? So. I'm going to upvote /user Nandaface's comment for some reason, and I find this coincidence very exciting and I'm not quite sure why. Reddit link. Might just be one of those people who always go back and delete their comments because they don't want to leave a trail of evidence. I definitely have deleted one comment, and I did it recently because it was an absolutely cringe comment and I have no idea where my head was when I made it. I think I was trying to be funny. Not my forte. His powers are too great, he only shows himself twice a decade to give everyone else a chance. Talk about biding your time and striking at the right moment. I've been active on Reddit since the pandemic started and I didn't even know you could check someone's comment history. I thought it was just posts. Till. I've probably said some really dumb crap and now I know my shame is on public display. I'm not checking, but can't you delete all your comments? Giving us gems after a sabbatical, this my friends is a comeback like no other. Is it as good as Kim Kardashian's comeback? Because man, there was a lot of it. Depends what you value, I suppose. I prefer this one. Thank you. I had to upvote his comment because I saw your comment. I had to come back to let you know you're a good noodle. 5 years off Reddit makes up all the missed karma in a single comment. It's weird that you noticed that. Do you check the post history of every comment you come across? For real, laughing out loud, I mean sometimes I'll go into comment history if someone seems to be a duck or is saying something controversial just for the sake of it, like baiting, but this is a pretty innocuous comment. So, how many ducks have you discovered on Reddit? My duck investigations are between me and God, thank you. You'd be surprised how many Redditors are just a stack of ornery ducks in a trench coat. I laughed way too hard at this. NTA, I would be livid if I was blocked in and you in no way should feel bad about the charges, they are in the wrong. Period. You should get a sign that warns of towing if parking illegally. Not sure what country you are in, but Etsy has them available. I don't think anyone needs a sign in their driveway to say don't park here or you'll be towed. Those signs make sense when it's unclear it's an assigned space or something, but in general you don't rock up to someone's house and park in their driveway unless you're visiting them. I tend to agree with that, but in this circumstance, being that the house was vacant for some time, there might be lingering idiots who may still feel they have claim to the parking without consequence. The problem with lingering idiots is that signs do not always work on them. Might as well save the money on the sign and just call the tow company. Tow truck drivers got to eat too. Good point. Original poster is helping the local economy. These idiots see a sign that says parking for patients of Dr. XYZ only, yet park in those spots and walk the length of the building to go to Dr. ABC's office. Walking by empty spaces for Dr. ABC while doing so. Then they act all surprised Pikachu when the employees for Dr. XYZ walk over to Dr. ABC's office to have them move their car. There are obvious signs in front of each parking spot. This is madly specific. I work for Dr. XYZ and we're constantly asking Dr. ABC's patients to move their cars so our patients have a place to park. We're baffled because each of our spaces has a sign right in front of it saying parking for our office, yet these people will bypass empty spaces in front of ABC's part of the building and will park in our spaces. It's a further walk from our spaces to that office, so it's not even more convenient for them, woman shrugging. But how did employees of Dr. XYZ know it was their car? Small office with parking right in front of the building. Front office full of windows, reception staff can see as cars pull up and as people get out and walk to the office next door. When Dr. ABC's spaces are mostly empty and those patients park in our spaces, I work for Dr. XYZ, including our only handicapped space with access to the ramp up to the sidewalk, we absolutely go next door and ask them to move. If they would just read the signs. Yes, I usually see these types sitting directly under a no smoking sign at the local shops, puffing away. If you point out the sign, they swear at you. The same people who park in a loading bay. There's currently a car parked in the disabled spot in the parking garage of my apartment block. Their only disability is having an expensive car they don't want dinged. Signs mean nothing to entitled assholes. I think it's rather weird to park your expensive car in a handicapped spot, potentially enraging people and getting your car keyed. I was always surprised that people with expensive cars do something to bring notice to it, like parking in two spots. That is the first sign that someone is going to kill your car. Oh, it's very weird, that space has been vacant for months, then suddenly this big 80k Beamer is parked there. But it's the United Kingdom, so keying cars isn't really popular over here. But someone will probably passively aggressively park very close to them. Stupidly they've parked straight in so the car next to them can pull straight in and block their driver's door. I just don't get this asshat behavior. There's no many free spaces. Just none right next to the elevators. People do that over here in the US, and we have huge parking spots. Because a lot of people drive big lifted trucks and they want to make sure everyone can fit. The people will literally drive their car in parallel to the curb so they're taking up 3 spots, thinking that no one's going to park near their car, and unlike someone is going to be pissed off, see your car, and feel justified craping on your hood. I've driven in US quite a few times. I always park between the lines though, so I've never had anyone crap on the hood. What baffles me in UK is when I park at the far end of a car park, no other cars around, and then I come back to my car and someone is parked in the spot next to me. What's that all about? I swear there must be a secret group who get kicks out of parking next to lone cars just to confuse the other driver. Only exception is if they park all the way in the back in the far possible spot away from everyone. We bought a house that was vacant for a bit, and the backyard did not have a fence around it. We live a block away from a grocery store, and people would walk through our yard to go to the store. Asked people not to put up signs and they took them down. Had most of a fence up, but we had issues with removing some brush and a bush that were in the way to put up the last panel, so left it for a couple days. People would crawl through the tree around the fence that had a no trespassing sign instead of going around the block. Signs only really help with people who have some sense and probably wouldn't do the thing in the first place. That sounds like the perfect time to install those motion-activated sprinklers to scare off raccoons and foxes. There was a house near me with the same issue. They put up a great-looking fence to keep their yard private. The very next day it was spray painted with all sorts of vulgar graffiti and pleas to the city mayor to order the homeowners to take the fence down. I really cannot grasp this type of entitlement. NTA. One towing sends the message. If they're stupid enough to park there again, towed again. That the car owner had the nerve to demand you pay for the tow is staggering. Declaring they've always parked there doesn't matter if you're the new owner. I can confirm idiots don't look at signs. Worked at a McDonald's a couple of years ago, and every time we had a food shortage we'd plaster signs all around the store and people would still ask for that very thing. Then get super pissed when it wasn't available. Idiots definitely don't look at signs. I work in an arena and a big name comedian filmed his special in our venue. The place was wallpapered with "Do not have your cell phone in your hand in the seating area, you will be removed," and yet the amount of people we threw out. Including one lady who tried to plead her case with me and said, "But I only checked to see if my sitter texted me." And I said, "So your phone was out?" She said yes. Bye. To be clear, I thought it was ridiculous and the guy isn't even funny anyway, but it was also hilarious entertainment for us, way better than the guy on stage. Honestly, it's for the original poster more than anything. I agree people ignore signs often, but this way there are no excuses and it might save them the time of needing to wait for a tow truck. Absolutely true, but if it's making original poster feel bad, it might make her not feel bad about it next time. Stupidity has consequences. Common sense says a vacant house may not stay vacant. Even when vacant, somebody owns it, whether it's a bank or person. It's still private property. Parking there was never without consequence, just without consequence yet. It sounds like the neighbors got too used to parking there and just treated it as their space, though. Original poster has probably made their point to this specific neighbor, but in my opinion, if it happens again where someone parks there who shouldn't, original poster would be well within their rights to post up signage. Or just keep towing everything. I like that option anyway. It's ops property. It's always within their rights to put up any signage not deemed illegal in their area. But it's not ops' responsibility to tell people that they don't own ops' driveway. NTA. This is true. The neighbor knew it wasn't his property when parking. So it really doesn't matter who else's property it is. This. Can you imagine having the balls to tell someone they should pay to get your car back after you knowingly parked in a driveway that is not your own? The only reason I haven't called a tow truck on people parked in my assigned space at my apartment is that my building is the only one without enough spaces for each apartment. It's supposed to be 2 per apartment and 2 apartments only have 1 space, and I'm trying to be nice. But I've come very close when politely knocking on the door and notes don't work. There are things like for sale signs and then sold signs. These neighbors were arguably on notice. Of course not. But if they're having a problem with people parking there after this, then it's an easy solution. But so is just towing any cars that park there. I agree with you, no doubt it shouldn't be needed. But apparently it is in some cases. My parents have a beach home that we use infrequently, but due to recent weather and other events have been at more often than normal. Every effing time the next door neighbors have a car parked blocking the garage. Like not just in the driveway but literally blocking any access to the garage. There's even a space to the side of the house that's literally intended for extra parking that wouldn't block the garage and they don't use it. I've tried to be super nice and made comments like, "Hey, we're going to be using the house this week so please park elsewhere," and they always go, "Oh sorry, we didn't know you were going to be here." Okay, first of all it's my house. I don't have any obligation to tell you ahead of time when I'm going to be there or use the effing driveway. I had to go up to their doorway to get them to move a car last time and they all admittedly have COVID. I am seriously tempted to just tow them if it happens again. Oh, and kicker. There's tons of free parking at the end of the street. We are 3 houses down from the end of the street. All this to say, NTA. People need to learn, and this makes me feel better about calling the effing tow company on these idiots next time I can't use my driveway. FFS. We had neighbors on an adjacent street send their teenagers by to ask permission for their guests to simply park, without blocking, in front of my house. They also invited us to the big party. Declined because I didn't know them, but a smart gesture. Wish I had neighbors as considerate as yours. My current ones aren't bad, but had one that had like 5 to 6 cars. It doesn't need to be posted to be towed, so why go to that trouble and expense? Everyone who does not own that property knows they don't own that property. Because then original poster doesn't have to go through the hassle of phoning a tow company and waiting for them to come out when he needs to go somewhere. Yeah, it's more effort than they should have to go through, though, so is calling a tow company, but it might save more time than waiting for the tow company, which works in the op's favor, more, and would save their neighbors money. By the way, home improvement stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, generally carry signs like no parking, no trespassing, etc. Depending on the house and neighborhood, it would look tacky as crap. A driveway doesn't need a sign to not park in it. Now that someone has been towed, it should be empty. I would have got them towed even if I could make my way around them. Original poster is definitely not the butthole. Let the record show that while a sign might improve your odds of not getting unauthorized parking, it is in no way required for a private residence. Exactly. This happened multiple times at my old house, where my husband and I stack parked our cars in our driveway. We both had to go to work, and someone parked completely across the driveway on the street, and there was literally no way we could get out, so we had them towed. It should be common sense not to block a driveway with multiple cars in it. NTA. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.